What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie review. Today we are talking about 2016's Doctor Strange. And this one, Dr. Mister. It's strange. Maybe. No. There's a couple really good lines in this. There's a couple really great scenes in this. I do love how much this movie, even today, stands alone. The wizarding side of the MCU is super interesting. The Darkhold, like him, especially where they brought them two together, because the only other real witches we knew or wizards that we've known in the MCU other than this movie is Wanda and Agatha in WandaVision, and that wasn't until years later. So 2016, this is where we first get to see Doctor Strange, and then he himself, Benedict Cumberbatch, has been in how many projects as just cameos or in a smaller role than the main lead, right? So he went and did Thor Ragnarok, right? Then that led into Infinity War Endgame. He was in both of those. Then he was in Spider-Man No Way Home. Then he was in Multiverse of Madness. So that's 5 right there. I believe he's got to be in something else too. I believe he was supposed to be in WandaVision's post-credits scene. They ended up cutting that. But there's a couple really great parts in just character building, right? Like, he starts out as this arrogant fucking... You see him as a doctor. He's guessing music with his buddy, and then he's being a dick to Palmer. He's mean to his love, and really that love we see from What If and even the second one remains the same, right? Like, every Doctor Strange is in love with Palmer. What's her first name? I don't know. But what I don't like about this movie is that there's a post-credit scene with Mordo, and it doesn't pay off. We haven't gotten anything to do with that post-credit scene. With Mordo hunting down what seems to be Doctor Strange and every other wizard, and he goes, "There should be no more sorcerers," right? Like, but we see him all dreaded out in Multiverse of Madness, and nothing even happens. I still think maybe in the third movie we'll get that will be paid off, but I don't know. In Multiverse of Madness with Raimi, it was a great movie when you're just thinking about it as Sam Raimi, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a pretty freaking good movie. But what we expected going into that was like cameos galore and Avengers Endgame, which is our own faults. Like, we shouldn't have expected anything more than what it was. But what we were also expecting that was more justified expectations. We were expecting this Mordo post-credit scene to pay off. We were also expecting the end of WandaVision to pay off. So we were like, where's Vision? Where's Agatha? Where's Wanda? And then what we got was just like this evil version of Wanda. And we were like, I thought we just went through this whole character arc. But they had nothing to do with WandaVision, so like the movie was separate, which is where Marvel in this most recent phase has been having their issues, because they tried to do so much all at once that there wasn't enough connectivity between the everything, which is what made these Marvel movies so special in the first place. Like, rewatching all the movies and going back from all the beginning movies, seeing how everything connects. Even this movie has a post-credit scene teasing Thor Ragnarok, which hasn't even come out yet. Comes out the next year, I believe. Right? So like, even this movie does what the other ones hasn't been. So they were even good up to this point. I'm trying to pinpoint where they went off the rails a little bit. And I believe it's Phase 4, but even the start of Phase 4, Shang-Chi was still pretty fucking great. Like, I love that movie, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But Doctor Strange here, a couple of great scenes with Tilda Swinton. I do love her as the Ancient One, but she punches his astral form out of his body, and then sends him on, the trip between, the acid trip that it is between the galaxies or into the multiverse. And, he's floating through the multiverse. I actually even have a shirt that I should have put on with him kind of falling in the multiverse. Which is just amazing. Like, that whole sequence, you're like, whoa, like, it's so trippy. There's hands growing on fingers and hands growing on hands. Like, there's, eyeballs that he's falling into. He sees Dormammu, like, he goes into the dark dimension. Like, just flying all over the multiverse, and then all of a sudden flies down and lands in the chair, falls on his face, and he's like, "Teach me." She's like, "No." You know, like, she's sassy. Oh god, like, there's so many great parts in this movie. But I love that we get to see, you know, a bearded, full homeless, you know, lost Strange goes to Pangborn. Pangborn's like, "I had to elevate my mind." You know, like, I even like that dude. He had a small-ass role and a post-credit scene that didn't really pay off. This is the first time we get to see Wong. Wong has become one of our favorite characters in the MCU, and if he's not, you're lying. Especially if you watch She-Hulk. Wongers in Madison with 2 Y's in it. Fuck, I forget it. I gotta rewatch that show too. But Madison and Wongers, like, Wong has become most people's favorite character. He's actually the Sorcerer fucking Supreme right now. And here we get to see him as a librarian, figuring out who Beyonce is. And Doctor Strange breaking rules, you know? Like, it's just really good shit. This movie did really make me miss the Time Stone. You know, seeing him go back in time and open up friggin' the glass dimension, or do the shit with the apple, get the page back, like, made me really miss the Time Stone and that era of things. But hey, we're past it. But it did make for a really cool costume. It did make for a really cool Doctor Strange. You know, I love he gets into the shit and, you know, like, just the shit he does, you know, the cape, his costume, the Eye Agamotto, like, it all kind of comes together. Granted, they didn't change his costume for like 4 or 5 movies. Like, they didn't give him any type of alteration at all. You know, so like, it was good to see some type of differential once he gets to, like, even Multiverse of Madness is pretty much the same costume, and now he has a patch because he got hit with a fire blast or whatever. But we at least get to see different versions. We get to see the the zombie version. We get to see the other Earth version. We get to see the original version before he dies with the ponytail that becomes the zombie version. So at least we get to see a couple different Doctor Stranges in that one. We get to see the original Doctor Strange with the third eye before our Doctor Strange gets the third eye, right? Like, there was parts of the multiverseness of that movie that felt cool, but they didn't really multiverse, right? Like, except for that one part with him falling with America Chavez, there wasn't really a lot of multiverse and a lot of madness going on there. But maybe there was. Maybe we'll learn more about it in the future. But overall, I gave this movie 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I would love to know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on this movie? What did you score it out of 5 or out of 10, whatever your scale is. The Letterboxd scale is out of 5 stars. That's why I do 5 stars. You can check my Letterboxd out and see all the other movies I've watched recently and the reviews I've left on there. I think I'm up to over 100 plus movies this year, and I've only started Letterboxd in May. So between May and September, I've watched over 100 films, so you can go check out those. I think I'm surpassing 300 videos as a YouTube channel, so go check out all the other stuff, all the other content I've made. And if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. And if you want to see my face again, please smash the subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos, smash that like button, share this with a friend. It helps a lot, but mostly subscribing and just watching the videos all the way through to the end is what really helps my channel and will support me. And I really love and thank all of the people that watch this stuff and support me through all of it. And I really hope to one day make this channel super successful, and also just make this channel like a community of people that are nerds like me, and people that like sports, and just people that are open-minded to experiencing new things, but just have a community that we can all just be friends and talk and not have haters. Like, I would like to move the haters to the left, all the positive people over here, and just keep us together, liking things. And, you know, it's okay to dislike things, but what's not okay to me is just say all the things you hate. If you hate things, there always is the inverse. You must like things about whatever, right? You can hate anything on the planet, but you can't hate it 100% all the way through. You can't. You have to point out the things that you like and also dislike. You can't just one side or the other. I will always say what I like about something, but what I don't like about it as well. You know, like, I have to give you my thoughts, my full compass of things. And if I loved it, then I loved it. You know, you'll hear everything I loved about it. Might be a few nitpicky things, but I'll point those out. You know, like, don't hate. Don't just be a hater just to be a hater. Like things. Go in optimistic, wanting to like things, and you'll be much happier in life. Keep that positive attitude. There's a lot of people out there that are negative and blaming other people for their negativity. It is a choice. You can choose to be negative, or you can choose to wake up and be positive. What really helped me change I was the same. I was at one point a very negative person, and I changed because one day I woke up and realized that it was a choice. And I was like, okay, when somebody asks you how you're doing, you can go, good, and just keep walking. Or you can go, hey, it's another day in paradise, and see what that does to somebody else's day. You know, a lot of times in Boston, you'll go, it's another day in paradise, and they go, yeah, right. You know, and that's some miserable people. You don't follow their lead. You march down your own path of positivity, and it will help you, I guarantee it. So stay positive, stay healthy, keep mobile, do your stretches, make sure you can put your arms over your head, do your push-ups, do your sit-ups, do what you gotta do. Health as well, take care of yourself, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. We will be talking about Logan. Ooh, one of my favorite movies from the Marvel Universe, even though this is kind of still Fox. But hey, we'll talk about it. See you in the next video.